All right, we just spent a day too long in Mississippi, one of those summer days. High water was all around us, and we had to cry a while, like the po' boys we are, in the moonlight alone. At number 9 with Bob Dylan's Love and Theft in 2001. So, coming after that, at number 8 is Lucinda Williams, Car Wheels on a Gravel Road. I've been listing the year each time, but I don't remember what year this came out. So there you go. Anyway, of all the albums, I found this the most challenging to consider what I was going to say because it's been so written and so talked about. I think as I thought about it, for the kind of music I'm into, and I don't know how you label that, I'm into a lot of stuff, but in general, alt country, Americana stuff. This is the most important record in that genre, we'll just say Americana, of the last 30 years, in my opinion. It is absolutely foundational. It is an all-time great album. I remember being struck by it the first time I heard it. I think it was the best first listen I've ever had. I just couldn't believe how great it sounds. I still can't believe that. There's a whole lot of pieces that have been written about how complicated the process was, how she changed producers with Steve Earle after Garth Morlix, and then got Roy Bittan involved, I think, from what I remember reading. I don't really want to get too much in the weeds to that. All I can muster, knowing the end product, is that Lucinda Williams had a vision, and she had a purpose and a way that she wanted these incredible songs to sound to her, and I will always be grateful that she pushed for what this became. It's just one of those insurmountable ones. Katie Crutchfield, who performs as Waxahachie, wrote a piece. I can't remember, it was one of the record album music publications like Pitchfork or something, or yeah, I'm not sure which thing, but I'll find it and I'll link it in the video below. By the way, she put out this record, St. Cloud. If you don't know, it's one of my favorite albums of the last 5 or 6 years. Just really great. But I would search out that piece. She says it more eloquently than I ever could. She mentions in it being a songwriter and that type of thing, that she just can't imagine how much sacrifice that Lucinda must have made to have made something so damn perfect. I love this record. I love it. It's gorgeous. It's alive with the South, with the back roads and the out of the way places and the actual people living actual lives that I've known, being from the South myself. My older brother Brian would joke that no one can sing a city name like Lucinda Williams, and that certainly is true on this. I think the one anecdote I would like to share about it, speaking of Brother Brian, his good friend Red and myself, we went on the road when Springsteen and the E Street Band reunited, and so we went to 3 shows, one in Columbus, one in Buffalo, and one in Albany. So it was like, yeah, we'll follow around and go see this. It was incredible. It was at that time. It's hard to imagine because it's been so long ago that, didn't know if I was ever going to have the opportunity to see Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band together. And on that tour, we also had the opportunity to see Bob Dylan, because you go see Bob Dylan if you can. That's the way I am. And he was playing at the University of Delaware. Wonderful. I love the random places you'll end up seeing Bob. But as an afterthought, having just gotten into this record, we got tickets to see Lucinda Williams in Towson, Maryland, at a smaller venue. And we didn't even know until we got there that it was the last show of the Car Wheels on a Gravel Road tour. And for me, it was the best show of the 5 that we saw. It was better than Bob, and Bob was great then, and it even kicked my ass more than seeing Bruce and the E Street Band, which is hard to imagine. But she had a killer band, Kenny Vaughan from Marty Stewart's Fabulous Superlatives, and then the Bob link again. She had former Bob guitarist, I think it's J.J. Jackson. There's a lot of J's going on in there, but he was there as like a double guitar like tandem, and they were badass. It was so good, and elbows on the stage, up that close type of intimacy, and you could tell they were feeling good because they were wrapping it up, and you know that's got to be a cool thing when you're backing and you get to play material that's so good. I think that's going to wrap it up. Thank you, Lucinda Williams, for putting it out there and making this beautiful, beautiful record. Number 8, Car Wheels on a Gravel Road by Lucinda Williams. We just left our front porch at our house in Macon. Got out of town in a yellow El Camino, sent a bad dude packing on back to Greenville in a metal firecracker with Car Wheels on a Gravel Road, which brings us to number 7. Probably the most thoroughly unique record in my collection, which I'll explain, which is Joni Mitchell, Blue. It's on a lot of people's lists, and it should be. It is, just one of those unassailable records. The reason it's unique for me is that, and here's where you should let me have it in the comments for my tens of people watching. It's the only Joni Mitchell record I own. I know, and it's been that way for 20 years now. I have here and there listened to other things, revealed that to other people who've hit me with suggestions, and I think at this point it's some sort of weird like mental barrier I'm not going to get past, and I'm okay with that. Something about it even makes this impossibly great record even more of a singularity. Yeah, Joni Mitchell, Blue. Just before our love got lost, you said, I am as constant as a northern star. And I said, constantly in the darkness, where's that at? If you want me, I'll be in the bar. On the back of a cartoon coaster in the blue TV screen light, and I drew a map of Canada with your face sketched on it twice. I'm a lonely painter. I live in a box of paints. I'm frightened by the devil, and I'm drawn to those ones that ain't afraid. I remember that time you told me, you said, love is touching souls. Well, surely you touch mine. Because part of you pours out of me in these lines from time to time. You're in my blood like holy wine. You taste so bitter and so sweet. And I could drink a case of you, and I'd still be on my feet. Joni Mitchell, Blue, number 7. All right, that was a quick Adam for Blue, which now means we're moving on to number 6. All right, here we go. Number 6. 1978, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. Darkness on the Edge of Town. This was the most informative record of my high school days, which, graduating in 1993 kind of made me not cool. This is the one. This is the Bruce for me. This is the Springsteen record that kind of outlasts them all. It's tough. It's gritty. It builds on itself and just comes out swinging. It's when, Jersey Hero really started trying to go after the questions that would navigate and inform the rest of his career. The themes. It's got an all-time double set of side openers with Badlands and The Promised Land. I think if I had to be picked and forced to choose, The Promised Land would be my favorite Springsteen song, which makes Darkness a double whammy. It was really cool. It was another transformative thing that kind of changed my listening was discovering bootlegs. And back in my day, back in my day, that meant like weird, foreign, obviously not legal, like CDs from overseas. And there were actually publications that fanzines and stuff like Backstreets had done for like the best Springsteen bootlegs, and all of them were in agreement about two Bruce shows, and one of them was from out in California and the release was called Live in the Promised Land. And I remember like physically ordering it, like checking a box that's what I wanted, and I think it was Great Dane Records, Live in the Promised Land, and it was like way back then, like getting a money order for like $75 or something crazy for this 3 CD thing and sending off for it. And then getting it like 5 months later, I think. It was just an incredible piece of time passed. But the live shows from this tour were like, you know, one of the 4 or 5, like getting introduced to something, opening my world. I think it really opened my world to like real, true, weird fandom, because the stuff was just so good and so mind-altering. You know, I'm one of those people who will stand, you know, shows I haven't seen, that the 78 Springsteen tour would be the greatest tour ever. And yeah, it's a bond my brothers and I share. I would be interested to see where they stand. I would guess that if they got press, it would probably be Darkness as well. Just what an awesome record. So, number 6, Bruce Springsteen, Darkness on the Edge of Town, 1978. All right, we just rode down Kingsley, figuring we'd get a drink, hit a Rattlesnake Speedway in the Utah desert to prove it all night. 1978 Springsteen, Darkness on the Edge of Town, or Halfway Done. Which brings us to number 5, and the big reveal as to why I picked 12 instead of 10. It's not that big, people that know me. And that is Bob Dylan, Highway 61 Revisited. Bob Dylan, Highway 61 Revisited. Now this list is favorites. If I were to do a list of greatest albums, it's like, what do I know about that? There's worlds of stuff I know I've never heard, and I am not that guy. And so, yeah. But if I were to do a best, this would be my pick. I think it's the greatest album ever made. But this list is favorite, so where it falls on my rando list of numbered stuff is at number 5. Highway 61 like changed me. My older brother had a CD of Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits Volume 1, and it had obviously songs off of Highway 61 on it. And then once I finally got around to, you know, having the capacity to buy my own CDs, and I got this, I couldn't believe it all sounded like the songs from that Greatest Hits Volume 1, which seemed like something that aliens had snuck into my home in Bay County, Florida. He comes out kicking and screaming with Like a Rolling Stone, brings it on through to Desolation Row. For me, it is the The one, obviously, I'm going, well, not obviously, but it's the one I go with as far as like the Bob Dylan 60s Zenith records of Bringing It All Back Home. This one and Blonde on Blonde, this is the one that I pick, which that's why I'm at 12. So a little bit of a teaser of what's coming up. I think I wanted to not have all of one or two artists, because I think there would probably be more Bob on it, and maybe two, maybe three of another artist, something like that. Except for Bob, for me, because I don't think he counts, because I think he's had 3 careers. I think there's the possessed alien 60s guy that, he's still most known for, when he's said in interviews, and like I said before, who knows what that means, but like he was just kind of possessed, and he doesn't even know where, songs like these came from. And then there's the latter day Bob, which got Love and Theft, and then there's mid-career Bob. And so, yeah, so that means there's going to be a mid-career Bob coming up further in the list. This is on just about any albums you ought to hear list ever made on all the considered greatest all-time records. It's a measuring stick. It's the separator for me. You can't. It's not approachable, and for me, it never will be. Yeah. Bob Dylan, Highway 61 Revisited.